Hey, I'm Kev Mystical. Welcome back to FIA ETRC. So we're headed to one of the oldest circuits around, the Nürburgring. But before we do that, we've got a contract to sign, so you can get race weekend contracts with all of them now. So we join the top team then. Let's see how different it is. And let's do a lap of practice in these wet conditions. That's once again in this, so we've got the brake temps. We've got the old layout we had with the last truck. The speed, the revs.
Keep your brakes cool. Remember to spray water on them.
I get it. Speed, and it's like brake. The braking pressure as well. Or just pressures. So we've got to remember the Nürburgring. It's the short layout, it's not the long one. And this is going to be our only lap of practice as to make it a bit more interesting as well. No qualifying. So all 4 races, we're starting at the back. Hope we can fight our way through to the front. It's interesting with the wet conditions as well. Let's just see if any of these trucks start to slide, but as you felt previously in the wet conditions, no real difference, at least feeding wise. And characteristic wise as well for the trucks. Just really visual. We've got a bit of it's very overcast as well. It's very grim out there. So we just make it through the kink. And then we've got the hard braking for the tight Vidal chicane. Not the 24-hour layout. Very easy to clip their penalty marker as well. So go turn on the front. Get hard on the power. Clip some gravel. What the hell? They got gravel next to a curb? Who does that nowadays? As to do under 210. We're going to be much quicker in the race though.
Mercedes, MAN, Scania, Iveco, Freightliner. The FIA European Truck Racing Championship is about to start. The show is on.
So good to see the Germans to the front, the Dutch were on the front row. It's got Lentz and Janes. Into the second half of the grid, it's Anderson and Albacete alongside each other. Then Rodriguez alongside Helm. And then on the back row, it's ourselves along with the Czech driver.
FIA ETRC is ready to race. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready.
To bash our ways into the lead. Of course, after these 3 laps, as go underway. Oh, they're braking in front. We can just launch our way through. Well, that was a bit easy, wasn't it? Already up into 4th. No way could we be leading after the first corner. Let's brake a bit early. Even then, we still outbrake ourselves and get to know 3rd place. As it kind of killed the revs as well. So they've gone wide. We dive to the inside, already up into the podium places. As whoa, brake Birdie in front. And whoa, goes a bit reckless into the leader. Leaves the door open for us to nick 2nd maybe. And we can nick the lead already after half of that. Not even half of that really, is it?
Great overtake.
As now we can just take the line away. And then to take another main event victory. Don't know why we put the water down there, didn't need to. But that's hardly any braking into that corner. Same into this right-hander. Just waiting for the front end to go around over that little dip. I say it feels like more gradual dip and more kind of linear radius corner than it is presented there. That right-hander, very weirdly modelled. But not these trucks, apart from the racing, of course. It's nicely through the final chicane. Looking into our mirrors, looking into the camera. Nobody behind us. Go around the final corner. Used to be called the Coca-Cola curb. Not sure if it still is.
That was a good lap.
That's as good as our practice at that 208.7, but this is from a standing start, so of course we're much quicker now. As we reach top speed, 99 miles per hour. There's lots of water there, get the drift on, get it down to second. We're literally full lock getting on the power, because that back end's drifting round, we want to get on it so early. Get a good exit. Truck having none of it though. So keep the revs up. Back end likes to go light through that right hand. You just want to get on the power, but it's just the camber there. Every car you go through there with, even an F1 car, that back end just wants to escape. So we braked ourselves into the hairpin, but braking deep means you just can get on the power a bit earlier. It's hardly braking into this left, it's more about lifting. Same for this right. Have to use a bit of the brakes just to get the front end round. It's more braking just to get rotation rather than actually for the corner to get the truck slowed down. I was going to get the screens around. Cut some of the grass as well. That is, we're multitasking this race. We might as well, because
Try to hold your position.
fortunately I don't see anyone else on the horizon. We've put so many limitations on ourselves to make it interesting, still this can happen. Unfortunately. That's why I drifted out of the final corner. Got enough drifting in a truck.
1 lap left.
So you go 59 for that. What was our test time? When we first went round, it was a 56.5, wasn't it? I think eventually.
Keep your brakes cool. Remember to spray water on them.
So go drift around the first corner. Too much drift. Just like we did around that hairpin at the Hungaro Raceway. The Hungary Raceway. I wonder why they don't have the Hungaro ring in it, because it actually is the Hungaro in their race round. I was a bit mistaken at first, and I thought, oh, is the Hungaro ring in here? No. Is that because of just licensing issues with the F1 games, maybe? And the Hungaro ring is just exclusive to that? Wouldn't make sense, because you have the likes of Monza and stuff in everything, so it's a bit confusing. Maybe it's just expensive to Hungaro ring license. Charge a premium. Go around a tight and twisty circuit. And I was saying that, I did prefer the old raceway compared to Hungarian. Just the undulation, the challenge, the variety that circuit had compared to Hungarian. Even if
Try to hold your position.
I do like the Hungarian to drive round, not the race round. Especially with the changes they've made to a couple of corners. Which invites kind of overtaking opportunities, but still not the best to race run. Now to make it raceable, it's taken away some of that
Remember to spray water on them.
fun you had just driving round to some of those corners. Like the first corner in particular, downhill, nice sweet radius corner. Now it's just a tight right-hander. Like, it's better for racing, but the drive round, it's not.
First place. Well done.
So you win by 80 seconds ahead of the Dutchman, and then Rodriguez, Hahn, top German on home turf ahead of James, then Korber, Hahn, Haum, should I say. He's been announced for some. Now Beccete, then Rodriguez missing out on points, and Anderson as well as in the Grammar Cup. So Dutchman ahead of Rodriguez, James, Czech rider, and the Brit. So in the standings, we lead the Dutchman now by 37 points, with Rodriguez in third, just 1 point ahead of James. Albacete in the top 5 now ahead of Rodriguez. Then Haum, the top German, in 7th, just a point ahead of Anderson. He's just a point ahead of Czech driver. Then Hahn, then Korber, and then it's outside the top 10. We get nothing for race 2. No deep voice, man. As we get underway, we already got a nice move, even though we held on to 8th. We're already into the top 5, and it's like it can clear to the inside.
Keep your brakes cool. Remember to spray water on them.
So trying to get the cut back here. Up into 3rd. We've got the move done, I think we have. Oh, he's still down our inside though. Fighting back the 91. As we're trying to do cut back, this is why they have this section here now in the North Nürburgring. Well, they've had it for almost 20 years now, but that's why it was introduced to have that side-by-side race, and as we're into the podium places already. So they've outbraked themselves. Can we switch back down the inside?
Try to hold your position.
Oh, we're drifting on the curb. Hold on to the rear. Oh, let them outbrake themselves. There we go, up into 2nd. Oh, he's pushing. He's leaning. Hasn't got the move though. Does it go down the back straight? Up into 4th. Where's the toe? Look at him go, flying in front. Well, we're close enough to dive. Not quite. Does outbrake himself though. And oh, he's taking down the penalty marker. He's all over the shop. It's the leader. He's blocking the inside, not really. So we take the lead in the final corner, get nicely on the power, get our 4-wheel drift on. It's a bit longer this race, but after one lap we still lead. It is ridiculous. So we make a move into the first corner. So they're up on the brakes because I noticed it was going towards 500 there, so I was like, let it go. Trying to use a bit less water because I ran out of water with actually half a lap to go, so trying to manage it a bit better this race. Trying to keep an eye on those temps in front of us a bit better. Once again, I'm revving it too much. I need to change a bit earlier. There we go, nicely over the curb. That was a bit pathetic over that curb. It's like the curb was waiting for the truck to get in there. It's like, dude, you can, you know, hit the apex. I'm waiting here. It's like slow motion through that corner. But we still have a comfortable lead. Just over a lap and a half to go. Or just under now. So we've still got a massive crowd here turning out. utter domination, the likes they haven't seen since old Michael Schumacher around his local circuit. Get well soon, Michael. Keep fighting. As we approach the end of the second lap.
One lap left.
Almost under 59. As we look to the left. Okay, at the Mercedes-Benz grandstand. They have that at the Hockenheim Ring as well, don't they? Outside turn 8, isn't it? That left-hander. They can watch all the massive crashes. Which was around to Lando Norris had his biggest crasher ever. Back in F4 a few years ago. Has he still got water? We're managing a bit better. The old brake temp says, hello everyone. Nice seeing you all. Goodbye everyone.
Hold your position.
I'm trying, it's so tough this race. My god, look at everyone swarming us behind. Oh, that's just the rain, okay. I think she's probably as bored on the pit wall. So I got to say something, it's been like a lap now. I know, I'll say hold your position because, you know, he's in first, he's got to keep hold of it. State the bleeding obvious. Shall I try this one-handed next race, see how well I do? I feel like I'm cheating using two hands on the wheel. Or maybe I just, you know, use the brake pedal. Don't even hit the accelerator, just use the brake pedal. See how that goes. Plus I'm driving one hand and doing the old full trucker motion. Just need a horn. They have a horn for the Automobilista trucks, but I don't have it for this. And you call this a fishy license game? Feel shortchanged, could have done.
First place.
We need a horn. That's the update we need. We don't need to fix this opponent issue. We need a horn. Unless they actually have that set and I just haven't got it set yet. So we've got the German in second header, James. Czech driver in fourth header, then Rodriguez, Anderson, the Dutch driver, Gilbert, Albacete, Hahn, and Jose Rodriguez right at the back. And in the Grammar Cup, it's James, the Czech driver, Rodriguez, Anderson, and the Dutch driver in last. So, does that make it interesting as we got our first sprint race victory, haven't we? I don't think we've won. We came second in Hungary last time, but it's the first time we've actually won one. As the top 10 get points. And we lead by 44 points ahead of the Dutch driver. He's still second. With James in third, then the Rodriguez is top 5 header, Albacete now, Helm. Then the Czech driver, Anderson, Hahn, Gilbert, and then so tied for last now. Good job.
That was superb.
What was? We've just started the race. I accelerated.
Sure you meet your team's objective.
How is that superb? As we're already in the top half of the field. This is bloody ridiculous, seriously. So out braking themselves like fools in front. Get out of here. This is our podium spot. This is our lead after 2 freaking corners.
Keep your brakes cool. Remember to spray water on them.
My morning shit is harder than this. My God. You know what? Forget about the horn. Just fix the opponents, I think. At a time. Maybe concentrate on that. To do have some nice sunshine to blind us now. That's a good improvement over the gloom of yesterday. And there's a hot air balloon in the
You
sky.
can win this race.
Well, there goes my self-belief. I thought I had a chance here, but now it's just totally gone out the window. My God. What am I going to do? I'm going to lose this race now. I'm going to finish 10th. As the track is a bit drier as well underneath. It doesn't... So we can mount that curb. I didn't realise that. We were mounting that all race long. And I did forget my bucket, so if I run out of water this race, I am screwed. I know we didn't run out of water in the sprint. I'll call it the sprint race, the second race. The sprint championship points race, shall we say. Let's look at that sun, that glorious, blinding sun. It's melting me, just like in real life. Let's go on to the second lap. I literally am just one arm in it now everywhere. Like, right arm for the straights, left arm for the corners. So when accelerating, there might be a smidgen of two hands on the wheel, but it is very minimal.
Keep your brakes cool. Remember to spray water on them.
Now I can just cruise, no, the temperature's going down. Don't even need to use water.
Let's keep going.
My next degree of sinking. You can see how much we're cruising now because they're actually right on my arse. It's difficult to turn when your left arm's just... Let's just do right arm for the right-handers. Should we do that? Right arm for right-handers, left arm for left-handers. So you go over the curb, mount it. Oh yes. That's some good mounting. As you come to the end of the second lap. Bit screwed in chicanes. Got to do left arm for one, then right for the next. Well, that rotated a bit too early in the corner for my liking. As you go on to the final lap.
Left.
You can tell rubbish it is just using one arm. I'm actually matching the lap times around. Shall I go back to two arms or two hands for the final lap? I've got to go down again. I've got to change to the left hand. Oh god. Sorry, I broke myself. So go through the left. Nicely done. Damn it, I had to use some water to go back to the right hand. Oh god. Save it.
Try to hold your position.
I'm trying. It's difficult. I have to change hands now. There we go. Shall I use the right hand for this one? It's a bit easier. I got full motion of the right hand, and then the left hand for the... We're figuring it out. There you go. You've got to use opposite hands for corners. So the left hand for right-handers, then right hand for right arm for left-handers. Apart from this, where you could just use the right one, because you've got that curve to use to the truck round. So in cases where I've got to go down again, so I've got to use left for both. Then the final corner, just the right hand.
Keep your brakes cool. Remember to spray water on them.
It's the final frigging corner race. I'm not bothered about that, I'm bothered about spraying the champagne.
Congratulations, first place.
That's the type of spraying we like, as we beat Rodriguez by a bit. Then we got the Dutch driver, then in fourth, good result. Then the Czech driver, then Albacete, James, Korba, Hahn, Rodriguez, Anderson and Helm at the back. And in the Grammar Cup, it's the Dutchman ahead in the Czech driver, then the Brit of James, Rodriguez and Anderson. So overall then, if we skip ahead, if I remember the button, there we go. We get 20 points. And we have a massive lead. Ahead of anyone else. Look at that, into the top 10 though. Ahead of Anne and Corber down to last now. So here we go, final race in Germany.
Okay, focus on overtaking the next driver.
We're in fucking second. Only first bothered to start. Freaking hell. What happened to everyone else? How rigged is this? Oh, so it did not pay off anyone. Alright. So, look, down to second. I probably should remember what gear I'm in. That would be a good idea, maybe. So just going to get back to drifting it around every corner, I think. That's pretty fun. It's all a bit wide. Using all the track. This is something that has been bugging me.
Remember to spray water on them.
Apart from the crew chief. What's the point of curbs? I would see curbs with this green stuff alongside it. So you've got curb extenders. But we see curbs everywhere. Even in corners that really shouldn't have curbs, such as street circuits. And I understand curves sometimes just help, because the natural environment's a bit rough. Because, oh my god, are we not going to need an end of a first lap for once? Screw that. So yeah, I don't get why we have so many curves everywhere. Like you see on some circuits, don't bother with curves as, you're telling me how to drive? Don't you see I'm leading, bitch? My god. Then I do run right at the next corner, so prove her point. Good job. But yeah, I don't get some circuits just curves. It seems like for FIA circuits, it's ridiculous the amount of curves they have on them. And type of curves. The curves come in all shapes and sizes. I just prefer the American system in it. So, like, seeing some of the circuits IndyCar go around, such as like Mid-Ohio, Alabama, like Barber Motorsports Park, Road America, like, their curves seem to just blend into the track rather than the curbs here, which just seem to be not blended in, more like we want to be the boundary of the track, but we have limits. And then there seems to be straight race. But you see on modern circuits now, such as like Paul Ricard, my god, she's driver coaching hard, isn't she, this race? Such as Abu Dhabi, Circuit of the Americas, you have like two lines now on straights. Like one line is meant to be the boundary and the other line's meant to be like a fake curb or whatever. So yeah, curbs. What's the point? Like seriously. I understand like street circuits cages to cover like manhole covers and stuff and things that cars really should be driving over. Like, I understand that. And the same for some circuits as well, just to help with like drainage, like cover up those drainage like slots. Yeah, why have they just suddenly like come about everywhere? Look at this curve, just extended. Does that help with drainage? Does that help with the track boundaries? Like, is this curve meant to help track boundaries, but then there's like tarmac on the other side? It's pointless. It's not a deterrent, a curb. Is a curb meant to be a deterrent? As part of a track boundary, or is it meant to be blended in like the American system? I just don't get curbs, to be honest. This is coming from someone who watches all types of racing. I just don't get curves sometimes. Like, I remember when the Career circuit came out. You remember that circuit? Still holds racing. Still holds like, was it Asian GT 3? I think he holds those races, but and endurance races as well, I think. But that circuit in the first year, some corners didn't have curves. The next year they had it in some curves. Like the corner where Webber crashed, or the corner before that where Webber crashed, there was no curb there. Then there was curb there the next year. And I thought it was actually refreshing seeing, oh no, there's actually a corner without a curb. That's pretty nice. And then they just put one in the next year. Like what the hell? It was actually nice having a corner without a curb. Why has it got to have a curb? Is it just an FIA rule? Every corner's got to have a curb or something? Just to make it nice? But then some curves aren't nice, like the Hungaroring. Those curves aren't nice. Well, those curves are made to deter you from track extending. It's actually a pretty neat system, to be honest. Even if they are pretty chunky. It's got James in second, Czech driver in third, Corber, Rodriguez, Dutchman, Rodriguez, Lentz, Albacete, Hahn, Anderson and Helm, and in the Grammar Cup, Jade, Czech driver, Dutch driver, Rodriguez and Anderson. So I hope you like my TED talk on curbs. Next up, what is a car? Does it mean you have to have 4 wheels? Does that mean you have to have 1 wheel? Is that a bike if it just has 2 wheels? Who knows? I think I've lost my mind, be honest. There's the standards. You all know it by now. Harnton last. Oh, so I raced during the day. Why they still got the podium? Where are the flags? I don't understand it. Why are they all androids doing the same motion? There's team morale's through the roof. I'm through the roof with our first clean sweep. I can't believe it took till round 3. It's good to see the thing at the top still broken. I can't select standings. Just got home. So you got credits, points, reputation. Got all the things. Team finances through the roof. Next up then. Shall we show off most? Because I've actually never been round most. Let's check it out. So this circuit's got 21 corners. Good thing we've got the cornering setup on then, isn't it? It's here, most Autodrome. I mean, if you're talking about the Czech Republic, you mostly know about Brno, which holds the MotoGP, used to hold touring cars as well, GT races, but now GTs race around here, so do trucks around most. It's been overshadowed. And now it's coming out the most of the shadows. I tried to make a pun there, didn't quite work, did it? But yeah, it's got 21 corners, so it's tight, twisty. Holland circuit. Phase out, brake yourself. As that's the hairpin before the straight. Should have known that. Well, not really a straight, it's got curves in it. It's like Virginia International Raceway, VIR. Know that. Again, I probably could have just kept that in 4th and just dabbed the brakes. So we're going under some advertising. Got a bit exciting corner, is it? Oh god, it's tight. It is an exciting corner. Into the gravel. Then through the left. So we've got the technical, very technical section. We've got to keep the rear end in balance, it feels like, through there.
Keep your brakes cool.
Then under the
Remember
Renault
to spray
side.
water on them.
I don't have the better dash, do I? I've got this basic dash. Most basic of dashes. Got to power nice and early, so that's pit lane. And then the final corner. It's a long sweeper. It's like they extended the one from the Nürburgring, isn't it? But that's a lap of most Autodrome. My first lap ever round it. Pretty nifty. Pretty tight. So I wonder what the racing's going to be like round here. But thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time. Absolutely nailed it. What? Get out of here, Ghost. You're not haunting me. As you slowly crawled away.